So I wanted to take a few minutes with this video to talk about 3 interesting PlayStation 5 stories, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. Now, the stories I wanted to dive into today includes the Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake PlayStation exclusivity potential changes from the last time we spoke about it. Sony has potentially canceled a new AAA shooter for the PlayStation 5, and the PlayStation Showcase hype is upon us. We're gonna dive into the announcement, timing, and the event itself. First, from 1 to 10, where is your hype meter for the PlayStation Showcase right now? The showcase is almost upon us, and we're gonna talk about it today, but before that, I want to know where everyone's energy levels are at. So comment below from 1 to 10, where is your hype meter at for the PlayStation Showcase right now? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, the Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake. Reading from Gaming Bolt, rumors of a Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake have been around for a while, but recent days have seen them flaring up again. Leaks have claimed that the remake is going to be announced soon and that it will be a PlayStation 5 exclusive, similar to the Silent Hill 2 remake, with Konami allegedly having struck exclusivity deals with Sony for upcoming Metal Gear, Silent Hill, and Castlevania games. However, according to journalist Jez Corden, specifically where Metal Gear Solid 3 is concerned, an Xbox release might not be completely out of the question. Speaking recently on the Xbox 2 podcast, Corden said that based on what he had heard, though Konami has indeed struck a deal, some sort of deal with Sony, Metal Gear Solid 3 might not be a full PlayStation 5 exclusive. As per Corden, the deal could potentially involve timed exclusivity, exclusive DLC, or marketing rights, and that the game might still end up coming to Xbox consoles down the line. As for when the remake will be announced, it's been claimed that Konami is set to unveil it at the rumored upcoming PlayStation Showcase, which is allegedly scheduled for the week of May 25th. So the original rumor was from Special Nick over on Twitter, stating that Sony has struck a deal for exclusivity for Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill, and Castlevania. Here, Jez is specifically talking about Metal Gear Solid 3. The interesting thing is the way he talks about it, specifically talking about Metal Gear Solid 3 not being a full exclusive. This gives off the indication that the other titles are full exclusives, based off just how this conversation is going, because he's specifically saying Metal Gear Solid 3 isn't a full exclusive. Why would you need to say that if the others aren't potentially full exclusives to PlayStation? Well, we'll see how that turns out, but in this case, Metal Gear Solid 3 could be not a full exclusive. It's been on other platforms in the past, but I wonder where that leaves the rumored Metal Gear Solid 1 remake. I would feel that that game is a full exclusive because to this day, Metal Gear Solid 1 hasn't appeared on another console besides PlayStation. I wonder if PlayStation wants to keep it that way. I guess we'll find out at the upcoming PlayStation Showcase, but what we can talk about now is this potential AAA shooter that Sony possibly canceled. That's the next story. Now, diving into the second story of the video, did Sony just cancel this potential PlayStation 5 AAA shooter? Reading from Gaming Bolt, in 2021, Deviation Games, a new studio formed by Call of Duty veterans, unveiled itself to the world, confirming that it had partnered with PlayStation to work on a new AAA IP for the PlayStation 5, which went on to enter full production in 2022. While details on the project or its production have been scant since then, some interesting information has recently emerged nonetheless. As spotted by Twitter user Bogorad222, the LinkedIn profile of Sean Edwards, who was Chief Operation Officer at Deviation Games from 2019 to 2021, claims that the studio's PlayStation 5 title had a budget of over $50 million. Of course, while that does seem fairly modest in comparison to the exorbitant money that gets spent on AAA development these days, it's still a sizable figure. Interestingly, Bogorad222 also claims that the project has been cancelled altogether, saying in a follow-up tweet that an unnamed Deviation Games employee accidentally let it slip to him that Sony had cancelled the project, probably due to cost cutting. While that's best taken with a grain of salt until official details emerge, it's worth noting that Deviation Games was recently hit with layoffs. So This user, Bogorad222, is also Tim UR222, who we covered in a recent rumor that Sony canceled a shooter being worked at a studio called Final Strike. That rumor was backed by actual layoffs listed on LinkedIn from employees who worked there. Now, I will say on that one, we don't know for sure if that shooter was actually canceled, but it's interesting because that rumor also pointed to a possible collaboration between that studio, Final Strike, and Deviation Games. And now we're hearing this rumor about Deviation Games and their title potentially being cancelled. This one, however, has more sources because website VGC stated recently that their sources revealed that potentially 90 people were laid off from Deviation Games. The studio itself has about 140, 150 employees. That's a large portion of the studio getting laid off. It's one of two things. This situation has to be one of two things. Either Sony thinks the employees left can complete the game, or the project itself is canceled, as this new rumor claims. Just like I said last week when we first heard this report from VGC that 90 people were laid off, we need to hear something official from the studio because right now it's not looking that good. However, what we could hear more about possibly very soon is the PlayStation Showcase, and we're going to dive into that in just a sec. But you guys let me know if you think the Deviation Games PlayStation 5 title is canceled or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And now diving into the final story of the video, the PlayStation Showcase announcement and potential showtimes. So this is the first week we could possibly hear something about this PlayStation Showcase. We've been waiting weeks at this point, and we could almost be near to hearing something more officially. The original rumor once again comes from Jeff Grubb, who claimed that a PlayStation Showcase was going to happen before Summer Games Fest, which starts June 8th. When we first discussed this rumor, I said based off that, it's looking like the show could possibly take place on May 25th or June 1st. Both of these days are Thursdays, and that's when Sony usually has something like a showcase on Thursdays. Fast forward to more recently, Jeff Grubb updated his calendar to state that the PlayStation Showcase will be taking place on the week of May 25th, which to me means it could happen anywhere between May 25th and June 1st, which are the 2 days we talked about in the past. Now, fast forward to now, and here we are at the first week we could be hearing something from Sony. Sony usually announces these showcases a week in advance, so if the showcase will be taking place on May 25th, it could be announced this upcoming Thursday or Friday this week. If it doesn't get announced this week, then next week is the last point unless the rumor changes. So next week, if we don't hear anything, and we don't hear anything from Jeff Grubb, then this kind of situation just dies down. Next week, Thursday or Friday, Sony could announce the showcase for June 1st. More people are betting on May 25th being the showcase date, so later this week, we could hear our announcement, and that is very exciting considering how long we've been waiting. But you guys let me know if you think we'll get the announcement this week or next week. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is the body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with bring on the announcement. This week could be the week where we finally hear something about the PlayStation Showcase. Hopefully it does happen this week. If you're excited for it, destroy the comment section with bring on the announcement. And I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.